It's preparing. See what happens. Okay, let's see. Oh, I can see myself there. It looks like we're live.
Hello.
Hello, welcome everyone. I am Clifford, and this is Kelly Renee. She is my long-term friend and client. We've been working together for about 6 years, and we're going to be sharing about how Energy Alchemy has helped each of us individually to repair our connection with God, or if you prefer the terms, the divine, the universe, infinite spirit. This is going to help you see how it's not a dangerous thing that calls in demons. It actually deletes the environment that demons can even exist in because it makes you more loving. So Kelly, would you like to go ahead and share what inspired you to choose this subject today?
It just popped into my mind today. Like, people need to know energy healing with the right healer that you jive with is not to be feared. Because I'm going to start back at where how I met you, Kai. I was a
Yeah.
mess. Um,
Yeah.
the things I was thinking were just pretty nuts, and I felt pretty nuts, but I still had that connection to God, even though I didn't really feel it that strongly back then. And I knew, like, when I stumbled upon your content, I think it was a blog, is how we met.
Yeah.
I had tried all these different people and these different modalities to help myself to feel more peaceful in my body. And I just knew, like, when I read your blog, it just spoke to me on so many levels. And for me, that was a godsend. And so, even in the midst of chaos that I felt in my body and the awful thoughts that I was believing back then, I still had the connection to the divine, to the universe, whatever you want to call it, even back then in the midst of my trauma and wounding. And so I just want to hone into people, like, we all have the God force, the universe, whatever you want to call it, within our body, no matter what's going on. And it's a choice if you want to tune into that or not.
Absolutely. Now, you came from a background of Catholicism, which had really given you a lot of shame, and you knew that something wasn't right with it. So you had really disconnected from it a lot. And using this work actually helped you find a true relationship with God on your own terms, where you had to even face some fears about spirituality and all things like that. But eventually, every time anything came up, it just strengthened your connection, didn't it?
Yeah, anytime something that seemingly it felt really awful in my body, we worked through it with your energy healing and energy alchemy, and eventually got me to a better place with my spirituality. And each time we break through something, it levels me up to a deeper level with a higher power. And I will sit here and say, I've never had this deep of a connection with a higher power ever in my entire life. Maybe when I was a really small child, and then that was taken away from me by parenting and society and Catholicism and other people's belief systems. But
Mm.
now I feel like I know what the truth is and what exists. And I just feel so protected and taken care of and provided for because of what we have broken down together. And it just kind of it brings a tear to my eye because there's been so many things that I couldn't have done by myself or with anybody else. Like, you speak to me. And so you are a godsend, Kai.
Literally, I truly do believe, and not just myself, but I truly do believe that God puts people in my path or me in their path when they're finally done, like dithering about, sort of trying this, sort of trying that, and they're just absolutely ready. Sometimes it's their like final prayer, like where you're begging so hard, like, I cannot even handle this anymore. They've
Yeah.
lost all faith, like wondering what's going to work. And then sometimes because they've lost so much faith, they're willing to try my sort of woo-woo thing. They, maybe see some testimonials and referrals, and they're just willing to take the leap. Now, it doesn't have to get to that stage. Plenty of people do, come to my work without getting there. But I also find a lot of people who say, like, I mean, you said, who say, I've tried everything. I don't know if this will work. And I'm like, that's fine. Let's do it anyway. And every time it always opens you up. And I just want to say, like, I really believe, like, a lot of people, especially when it comes to religion, they're like, yeah, well, God should do it all. And it's like, but God created this 3D world for a reason. And the way that God does most of his like goodness in the world is through people, which is why we have to purify ourselves, which is what energy alchemy does. And it allows ourselves to become the vessel for God's love, so that the more in loving states we are, the more we can do God's good in the world. And that's how we show up with God's love, when we extend our help to others in whichever way feels exciting and lit up for us.
And I want to also say, like, in the beginning of this journey with you, I had a lot of religious trauma beating my brain in the background constantly, like, I don't know about this, it doesn't feel completely right. And then we would do a session together, and I always felt better at the end. And I just kept going because I felt better, and it spoke to me, and it cleared things that no one else has been able to help me clear.
Yeah.
And I've tried a lot of things, not everything, but I've tried a lot of things. And the way that you lead me and your other clients through what you do is like nobody else. And so that's the reason why I kept doing it, even though it had the tag on it, energy healing, which, if you come from a religious background like I did, the word energy can kind of spook people. And so, even though I wasn't completely sure about energy healing at the time, I knew that God showed me this aspect of healing because it was the thing that was going to hit the nail on the head.
Oh, absolutely. And if you think about it, we are made of energy. The life force that runs through us, it's a combination of energy and consciousness, God's energy and consciousness. So energy healing is actually just emotional healing. It's allowing you to find those jealous reactions, discordant, insecure, fearful reactions that cause chronic pain and mental health issues and insecurities and blocks to going live and whatever it is, and heal the emotion and bring it into love, which is into God. That is all this work is, really.
Yeah. I feel like you and I have kind of helped each other to get a stronger connection to a higher power, because
Absolutely.
I've seen you make some major breakthroughs.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I love about our work together, being together for, I mean, we're a long-term relationship.
We are.
Yeah. And definitely having you as my client and friend has really helped. Like, it's just helped me to have, because you're so open to spirituality and the energy healing, it's really helped me like dive deeper into that. And before, I didn't really have anyone to, I mean, I had clients obviously that I help with this stuff, but just the way you and I have connected, I was able to talk to you a lot more about God and spirituality and tell my viewpoints. And yeah, it's just, my connection has just gotten deeper and deeper and deeper, where it used to just be like something I'd think about and maybe pray here and there, whereas now I'm literally talking to God all day long.
And that is exactly what you have taught me to do. And I actually do it just without thinking about it now. Because you used to say, well, God is there all the time within you, within everybody, but I didn't really feel that. And so
Yeah.
through your energy healing, I've been able to feel that even more. Like, it's a constant presence. And that is a true miracle, because I didn't feel that years ago. But
Hmm.
now, having that, it's kind of like this best friend that's always there listening no matter what. And you would always say, have a running conversation with God. And I just do without thinking about it.
hmm And also, I like the idea of is like, how often do we complain through the day? If you're going to complain, just stick the word God on there and talk to God. It's like, oh, I can't believe this. It's like, oh, God, I can't believe this. Or divine, infinite spirit, oh, this sucks. Show me the way through. Give me guidance. Show me the answers. Even if you don't feel it, even if you have trouble sometimes believing it, you can also tell God that. You point to that part in your body with your attention, and you simply say, God, here's a part of me that doesn't fully believe in you. Help me transform this, transmute this part of me. And so for me, a lot of my journey, I haven't really felt God that much for a lot of it. And even now it's still in and out, although I definitely do feel the I am presence within me a lot when I really tune into it. But it's not about feeling God, it's about having the faith, knowing that just because we can have walls up where we can't hear, we can't feel, God can always hear us. And God's promise is that every time we call out, God answers. Now, sometimes it doesn't answer in the way that we want, and that sometimes because of our karma only allows a certain amount of the prayer to be either given in the way we want, or sometimes something going wrong, like something falling apart, can actually be part of the healing. Like you and I know that, Kelly, the blessing in every lesson.
Boy, do I know that more so, I feel like, than ever before.
Yeah.
Well, because just pretty recently, Kai, I've had an experience that I was like, I can't believe this is happening
Yep.
again. Well, of course it's happening again because I've asked for help and guidance to change a pattern so that I can attract into my life what it is that I really want. And I didn't even know that I still had these belief systems that were shown to me, taught to me growing up, that were not even mine. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's enlightened me, and I feel more powerful knowing that this is changing because I've been shown past things that are still popping up, but there's a different reaction to them now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Once you can start seeing everything as a blessing, realizing that is a lesson for your evolution, and also that the only meaning that it really has is what we give it. So that's maybe a little bit off point, but when it comes to our life, it's so important, I believe, to be learning from every experience and have it. And it's about developing the maturity to take our lumps. It's like this is my lot in life for some things because of our past karma, our ancestors' karma, things like that gets passed down through the DNA, and then it's up to us to face it and heal it. And the more you can just take it with like, well, it is what it is, and there's a lesson in this, and it's going to help me grow stronger, the easier it is. And also, the more God can help.
And I feel like God has a pretty funny sense of humor. The way
Yeah.
he like plans things out for you, it's very bizarre
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. The amount of amazing synchronicities, like the way you and I met through my blog, like I didn't even know anyone was reading it. And and I think you were the only person. I think one person after did, but you were the only person that bought a session through the link on that page. Most people come to me through social media, DMing me, and I just got a notification for a single session up one day, and from that random link on a random page on my blog. And as I was saying to you, as we've said so many times to each other, trillions of things must have happened to have put us together. Like it's a divine design.
And you live across the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And things like that story have continued to happen since I've been working with you. I
Mm,
sometimes I don't even believe that they've happened, but they have, like
yeah.
miraculous things that I couldn't have orchestrated myself. There's
Mm.
no way because I was so stuck in my own trauma loops and could not get out of them for the life of me. And you have cracked that open, wide open, and have helped me to see things so much differently. So much differently.
I love that. And one thing I want to touch on is the whole New Age to Jesus movement, which I think is great that it's happening, but it's very easy to go too far into the other end of the spectrum. So while it's true that the New Age, the modern day New Age movement, has gone off a cliff a lot, they've also got their place on the spiritual journey. You know what I mean? It's like there, that is what it is. But at the same time, their beliefs are just shining out bright. So many of their beliefs about not believing in evil just because they've been told that's how it is. And there's so many other little things. But then so many people, they move over to Jesus and Christianity. But what they're not realizing is that Christianity also doesn't have all the answers, like every single thing correct. They have a good framework. It's great that they protect themselves. It's great that they call on Jesus, but Jesus isn't the only one that you can call on, although the Christians will say that anything that's not God and Jesus is a demon. And it's like, so there's only two heightened beings in the entire universe, and everything else below is a demon. That's not how it works.
No, because I mean, we all have God within us. Like
Mm.
we just do. So not every single person alive is less than. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And the funny thing about the human is we do have the yin and the yang. We do have the angelic and the demonic, the love and the fear. And it's our quest on earth to be transcending the fear and the demonic into the higher states. And what people don't realize, and what Christianity will absolutely say is not a thing, and which is where they really can get very narrow-minded and go off the deep end on their side, is that humans, we are actually meant to embody love and become a vessel for God to experience life on earth through us. And then they'll say, well, you're not supposed to idolize yourself. But actually, becoming a vessel for God's love to do good on earth takes a lot of sacrifice. But you're just sacrificing things that are unhealthy for you. That, I mean, and actually, there are real things that are normal, everyday, uh, just normal everyday things that you would never guess. On the spiritual path as you ascend, you have to start giving up and things like that. So I think my message is to really understand that while it's wonderful to be leaving the world of just shine bright and there's no evil, and even like the manipulating reality through just getting egoic desires through that form of manifestation, God's will is still supposed to flow through us, and we're supposed to make decisions from God's will. So we are also meant to manifest. But the trick is that we're meant to manifest from desires that benefit everyone and aren't to impress or prove. So the Christians are really missing out on a big chunk of understanding how to develop themselves. In fact, a lot of them, they don't think they have to develop themselves at all in any way, shape, or form. And I think that's the thing that I want to warn people against. We all still have to purify our own emotions, calling upon, whether you want to call on Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit, or Saint Germain, Kuan Yin, and your higher self. You still want to call on spiritual support from the ascended masters, from the higher levels, from the house of God or the house of love. But just, I'd say just understand that that aspect is also there.
Very good. Very good perspective.
Yes.
Yeah. So also I want to say like the energy healing, and I don't even use that term lightly anymore because it is energy healing. I was never taught in the Catholic Church that things are made up of energy, and that is too bad. That's
Mm.
sad and bad because that is the truth of life. And when I fully embodied that, like everything is energy, even God, our bodies, the way we think, and whatever what we attract into our lives, it
Mm-hmm.
just it just turned me around. Like literally, I've turned around into the truth of life.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are a shining example of the chronic pain and chronic illness issues that you've had, where the doctors told you that you'd have to have an operation to fix your 9-year crippling sciatica. And we went in together to the emotions and the beliefs that caused the emotions and the memories and all the things that causes chronic pain. And over many sessions, we continually reduced it, and it would go away, and then it'll come back a bit, but it'll be better. And then eventually it just went away.
Because it's energy.
Yep. Yep. Everything's emotional. Like, all of our emotions control our reality. It controls our body. It's like, so one way to think of it is, if you feel stressed, it's because you're thinking a thought, well, that actually goes against the way the universe really works and how God sees you, and it takes you away from your path of the goodness of your good path. And so you get this stress up because it's telling you these are the wrong thoughts, this is the wrong attitude, but it's literally pulling at your body with tight shoulders, tight jaw. It's turning physical, just like when people get panic attacks and then they go to the hospital, think it's a heart attack, because it turns physical. And the same is with all chronic pain.
Yeah. And such a relief to know that it is all energetic. Like, it can be changed and shifted, I think, easier because it's energetic. But when it does solidify and turn into physical stuff, it can still be shifted and changed.
Absolutely. And then it opens you up to your purpose, whether you are actually healing the chronic pain side of it, or just anxiety, or you want to heal religious trauma, or become better in your relationships or in your business, etc., etc. It all works in the same way. So when we heal one thing in your life, the other areas, they start working too. When we heal like chronic pain and anxiety, then all of a sudden you'll open up and you'll start getting opportunities come in, because you're no longer shut down holding all this fear of the future. And I find that chronic pain is usually very much related to lack of boundaries, and it's just a buildup of all the times you couldn't say no, of all the times you felt disempowered, of all the resentment that you built up over the time, the anger and the pain and the victimized thinking. And when we go in and we layer by layer by layer, face it, connect with it, talk with it, transmute it, then your body heals and your life changes too.
And you start trusting yourself more and most likely believing that something greater than us exists. I feel
Yes,
like, yeah.
leading you all the way back to God again.
Which is exactly what God wants. Like, he wants us to be who it is that we were born to be, and take off all the layers that society has told us, our
Right?
parents told us, people have told us, whatever, church, school, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So many Christians, they say literally you should only ever read the Bible, ever, ever, ever. But then they'll also turn around and they'll say that with God, all things are possible. So wouldn't it then make sense? And I know this is true, but wouldn't it then make sense that since so many people aren't willing to or wanting to believe in Christianity, that he's going to find other ways to awaken people? It's like so many Christians, they think that any person that channels from the divine, they're just channeling a demon, and they're fooled. It's like, well, no, anything that happens in the dark realm is a copy of what happens in the light realm, in God's house. So we're actually meant to be channeling God, the divine, infinite spirit, the 0 point field. We are meant to be tuning into these higher realms. But so many people are scared of it because they've been taught that anything that's not, what their priest or pastor tells them is a demon. And they're just missing out. Like the path work, I highly recommend anyone that wants an expanded view of spirituality and a deep psychological, a course on psychology, how the human mind works, how to merge with God, your higher self, about Jesus, about healing emotions, all these things. Read the Pathwork at pathwork.org. The other one, to learn about ascended masters, and they even talk about Jesus in there, is the Summit Lighthouse. I could go into more. There are so many different spiritual texts that Christians will just dismiss as, no, that's just a demon. It's like, well, you don't even know. You haven't even read the entire thing. I spent years reading the Pathwork lectures, 258 lectures, and studying them. And that's a big part of how I learned how to merge with my higher self, which is also the Holy Spirit, and how I became closer to God because I was open to these other ideas and not just willing to say, oh, you say that's what it is. Okay, I experimented with it and I've discarded things from different spiritual teachings that felt, wasn't quite true. And then I found the truth in what I feel is true. You know what I mean, Kelly?
I do know what you mean. And this makes me think of like the things I've struggled with and you've helped me to heal, like energetic exchanges with other people. Like I didn't even really know what to do with that when I was before you and I met, and still going by what the religious aspect says, there can be there can be what I'm trying to say, there can be energetic exchanges with other people during your lifetime, and it can feel like really dark
Mm-hmm.
and like tied to you. And I'm not really scared of that anymore because I know what to do if that
Yeah.
ever happens, because I've been strengthened in who it is that I am through your work.
Mm.
Yeah.
Plus, we've done quite a few exorcisms. There was one exorcism we did where, so most emotions, when you tune into them, most parts of you, if you really tune into it, you find out that its so-called sabotage program is just trying to protect you. But every now and then, you'll tune into one that is not trying to protect you, and that is a demon, or if you want to call it an entity, a hyperdimensional being, whatever you want to call it. There's some sort of attachment that will attach itself to you and feed on your loosh and think through you and puppet your thoughts and spiral your thoughts more negatively. But yeah, we found one, and when we tuned into it, we realized, wait, there, this doesn't want to protect you, and so we found that it was like burning fire. I think it was, and I think this was just like last year. And then yeah, we one thing after another. We did the things, and then we released it, and then something changed right after that for you.
Big, big. And dare I talk about like the things that used to happen, like when I was trying to sleep at night? It was creepy stuff, creepy stuff. But people need to hear this because they need to know it can be healed. Like you are not a victim, but I felt like a victim because
Yes,
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know I had power over these things outside of me. And we really do. And you've taught me
right.
that.
And that's one thing that Christianity gets right, is that we take authority over the earth. And now the earth's name, the planet's name, is actually terra firma. The earth is actually our mind. It's so, I can't remember which direction it is, but I think you bring earth up to heaven, right? That's right, because you have to go to heaven, which means you have to change your thoughts from negative to heavenly positive thoughts. And even when you have negative thoughts, bring your positive thoughts onto the negative instead of suppressing them. But the biggest problem I see are people not getting to know themselves because they think that if they turn away from from the jealousy, from the hatred, from the pain, if they just suppress that thought, that it'll go away. But that actually makes it more powerful because it has thinking power. It's like an automated robot, our programs are. And unless you're willing to see it and literally talk to these parts of you and re-educate them with love and about your nature as an infinite being and how the world works, such as being able to, how you feel determines what happens in the world around you. The more you're willing to see the nasty sides of yourself, which we all have, the more power you have in your life.
Amen.
Amen to that. So, Kelly, you said that you wanted to promote me and what I do. So, would you tell people what you think about that?
I think a lot about that. So we've been working together for a while now. This is why, because you are like healing. I don't even know how to put it into words. Okay, I don't go to doctors, and I'm not saying don't go to a doctor, but we have healed things that people go to their graves with. I'm going to repeat that again. We have healed things that people go to their graves with.
Literally.
And I am not who I used to be. And I literally was a victim and victim minded. And that's just not who I am anymore, because I've kept going with this energy healing, and miracle after miracle after miracle has happened in my life. Things that I still can't believe, from money coming in, abundance coming in, free trips to places that people have paid for, better jobs, better people, better friendships, and the list goes on, because of the energetic field that I possess now is not what it was 5, 6, even 2 years ago, because I just keep up leveling, and you
Yep.
meet me where I'm at. You meet me where I'm at. And sometimes I do still get pretty negative, but you always remind me, look, Kelly, we can work through this.
Yep.
I've got you. You're okay. This is happening to help you up level and learn. And I just promote you so much, because more people need to be doing this work. More people need to be
That's
doing.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the value of having a little bird, a little bird, a little spiritual bird in your ear like me, when you're feeling down, you're feeling like, oh, this is never going to shift, or I thought this would change, and here it is again. For me to just be saying, no, you have to understand, like, this will change. This is changing. This is how it works. Like, you will get through this. Kelly, I love that you call me the bulldog.
I do. No, pit bull. You're like a
Oh,
pit
the pit bull.
bull,
Do you want to say why?
because you never fucking give up. I used to be so negative, like about everything, everything. It was just my conditioning. I can still be that way a little bit, but it's because I've had you as an emotional cheerleader, like always there, helping me, and like with a pit bull with a bone, not fucking giving up. You're not giving
Mm-hmm.
up on me. You're not giving up on how the work works. And you just know, because you've seen people transform time and time and time again, and even in your own life. And
Mm-hmm.
so having you in my back pocket, so to say, has been everything for my transformation, because there's been many times that I've wanted to just give up, throw in the towel, because I didn't believe in myself, and I didn't believe things could change for the better.
And then they did.
And they still do.
Yeah, there's always another level, and that's not the mindset where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna have to keep healing and healing eternally, and nothing, like, and then nothing moves forward. No, no, no. You heal by realizing that where you are, you can still find ways to move forward while giving yourself grace. But it's not the eternal, like, spinning your wheels healing, where you just constantly wait to be healed. No, no, no. You do the healing, and then, I hope you take some sort of action in your life, and that will terrify you. And then you do it, and then we do the healing again, and then you feel better because, like, oh my God, I took the action. Oh my God, this happened. Oh, I learned this and that. Oh, I fell on my face like this. But then we clear it and we change the pattern from within. And it just keeps rising up and up and up and up and up. And it really just keeps ascending.
Just like, I'll just use dating for an example. I never really wanted to put myself back out there, because I was really frightened of men. Let's just admit the truth here. And you've helped me to see a different perspective of that. And I've actually, after our sessions, I've gone out into the world, to the grocery store, and things shift. Men look at me differently. They talk to me like they never have before. They approach me. It's bizarre, but it's
They offer to help
because
you.
they have helped me. They've called me. They've done all kinds of things. And it's just because we're changing the internal state. And so
Mm,
everything else around you changes to match
right.
up with your energy.
And that literally started, I think, 1 or 2 days after we did this. Like, we done a few sessions on it, which had some great shifts. But then there was this one big one, and we came to this part of you that had this. It wasn't all of you, obviously, but this deep buried part of you that had this hatred. And we found, and it was like a frozen lake, I think, and we had to, like, thaw out the lake and do all the work with it and talk to it and find its personality. And anyway, by the end, we completely shifted it. And then I think you started just seeing all these new men pop up everywhere, and that's when they started offering to like fix your car and started smiling at you. It's because your energy was different, so you didn't have to do anything physically because it was already different.
Yeah. It's really exciting stuff. I mean, I can't wait to see what happens in romance. It's going to be like everything else. It's going to be a miracle.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. Well, thank you for this today, Kelly.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, really good. So feel free to reach out. This is Kelly Renee, and I'm Kai Clifford, Energy Alchemist. You can find me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, even Threads. Wherever your favorite social media is, send me a DM if you want to know about working one-to-one, or get on my email list where I share loads of transformational catalyzing content with spiritual law and psychology law that you can use practically in your life. This isn't just lofty concepts. These are complex spiritual concepts that I boil down into easy to understand practical steps that you can use in every area of your life. So if you want to be a part of that, let me know. DM me for either my one-to-one, emailing list, my low-cost stuff, and yeah, just get involved in my world. Great.
Great.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.